Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Got the gang here in the chat. Got my boy Kieran here, out in LA. We out here chilling and got a lot to talk about tonight, Kieran, and just everything going on in the universe. We're going to Big 12 conference play. So if y'all want to hit the like button and show, it's free to show love. If y'all want to go ahead and support us just because you're excited that we're out of non-con and now we're getting into the meat of it and trying to get to Arlington and accomplish our goals, show us some love and hit that like button and subscribe and everything. Karen, what's good, brother?
What's going on, man? The chat is already on you for your timeliness, man. I swear. Well, look, we on CPT. Don't worry about us, okay? Don't worry about us.
Right,
We on
right.
CPT. It's all
We
good.
on
You know what I mean?
CPT, free demo, you
Free
know.
Demo, free my boy Demo. You know what it is? Goodness gracious, what a week, man. What a week.
What a week, brother.
Free
What a
Demo.
week. Y'all get on me about time, and that's fair. I should be prompt. I should be on time.
I was late this time, guys. It wasn't Steven. He was already in here. He was ready. I showed up at
I was trying
7:31.
to
I'm
cover
sorry.
for you, bro. Shut up. I was trying to cover for you.
Okay.
Let me take the bullets.
Oh goodness.
But we always go over. We always spend because look, I need this as much as y'all need this, right? Like this is we are a family. We got to talk about these things. Y'all, this team, this reality TV show that is Texas football. Boy, the stress it brings. Boy, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the roller coaster that this thing takes us on. So, hopefully it's community therapy.
Mm.
And sometimes, guys, therapy is a good thing too, because even when life is going well, it's good to check in and talk about the wins. It's good to check in and say, hey, life is good. It's, whether your car is running poorly or well, you still got to go get an oil change. You still do that maintenance. And that's what therapy is all about. So we're here having Texas football therapy. So much to discuss. Before we get into it, because I'm gonna pass it over to Kieran, wherever his heart desires to start this. But I want to give a shout out to BUSR, BUSR.com/fanatic, the official sponsor. Yeah, the official sponsor, the official sports book, the official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. Look, some of y'all have been out there winning big, man. I know my man Kyle Esak's been getting after it. Had another great week in the NFL. Week 2 was crazy. Bunch of comebacks, bunch of double-digit comebacks. You got Kyler Murray running all over the damn place, like a badass kid. But some of y'all are betting money on that stuff, and if you're looking for a responsible betting partner, somebody to rely on, who better than BSR? Look, I know a lot of people bet on Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs to just ball out and take the over. Y'all are making easy money out there, right? And so you're looking for Heisman bets, everything. I got you at BUSR. We got you. So tap in. Karen, where do you want to start, man? Do you want to start with Quinn? Do you want to start with Demo? Do you want to start with Tech? Dude, the floor is yours, man.
I feel like we got to start off with the Demo news. It was pretty funny this week. Goodness gracious! I mean, I've never seen a reporter go from breaking news that everyone's hopping on, and everyone's like, "Damn, that's interesting. What a find!" to "What a fucking idiot you are!" like just. I mean, I feel bad for the dude. I honestly do. I was like, "Damn."
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, that's on him though. He should have double checked, triple checked, made sure that was what was really going on. But shout out to Demo, man. Demo, goodness gracious, I got a couple of texts whenever it happened from some of my Texas Longhorns fans. Like, oh my god, what a dumbass! What is he doing up there? There's practice today, yada yada yada. And then
He's
about
out
30 minutes
there
later,
smoking the devil's lettuce.
yeah, exactly. It's like, how undisciplined is he? Yada yada yada, bro. If y'all haven't played football, I don't blame any player from lighting up a spliff. You know what I mean? I'm chilling on that. Hey, your body hurts. Your body, especially 3 weeks into the season. I don't even care. He played Bama 2 weeks ago. He can light up one if he wants to. But that isn't even what ended up happening. This is a 5-7. I got to take my mind off of things type blunt. Not a mid season. I'm sore type blunt. But yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. And also as Texas fans, how many? I said this to you guys. How many hit pieces get written on us per season? Like it's ridiculous. Like it doesn't make sense how many times like bad news from Texas or something that just ends up going up on national media. Like schools spend millions of dollars on recruiting trips every single year. Georgia's the highest spending school on recruiting trips, but there's a headline article about Arch Manning getting $280,000 visits
Bro,
and all this
I'm
other
so
crazy
glad
stuff.
you're bringing this up, man.
It's crazy.
Bro, I mean, like, there's nothing there, dude.
No.
There's nothing there. And they don't even factor in, like, they act as though, oh, Texas did this for Arch Manning. And you're bringing up, I think it was The Athletic where the article was written. And we're not refuting any of the facts.
Yeah.
But again, like, no different than the Demo situation. Context matters in all of these things. And as a Texas fan, we get in our own way a lot. I am here to admit that. Kieran will agree with me. We get in our own way a lot. But it's a whole nother thing when people pile on, right? And people look for things that aren't there. And like you said, the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Clemsons, like all these teams are spending buku bread on recruiting visits. You had multiple players come out right away and be like, bro, that's a normal recruiting visit. Like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Like, I had all this stuff on my visit, and that was, Tope even said that, and Tope was what, class of 2016?
If you like, it's the University of Texas. Because this is the thing. If it was the other way around, if it was just like, they just showed up, they had like barbecue plates that somebody's auntie made, and then they just got to walk around the field, that would be a piece. You know what I mean? Like, it's a recruiting visit. Of course you're gonna lay it out. You know what I mean?
Brother,
like
we have a lake.
Sense.
It's Austin, Texas. We
That's
go
what
have
I'm
boats.
saying.
I would be pissed off if we weren't using the boats.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Like that's oh well, Texas, this NIL era, blah blah blah. Like, no, we were spending that much money on visits for the past 25, 30, 40, 50 years. Like, it's Texas at the end of the day. We're gonna show people why they should come to this school.
Shout out to our boy Les Humble Teej. If you're another fan sharing that article out there, just say you're broke, okay? Just say that. Just say you're broke, okay? Because if you got it, what's the problem? Number one. Number two, it's also understanding the freaking cost of doing business in Austin, Texas, right? From everything there is to do, if you're looking to sell your program and to sell everything that can be done in the city and to wine and dine people, you're going to take them to see. You're going to take them everywhere, and that involves the boats.
You're going to get ice sculptures. You're going to go to Top Golf. You're going to do all of this stuff. Like, people are just – it cracks me up, man. It's like, oh, well, why would we – how dare they show these 17, 18-year-old kids what the city is like? What are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? How dare they feed them and their families? How dare they? Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
But going back to the Demo situation, right? Context. The report comes out. It's not just that the report comes out. It's not just that, that Chris Hummer fundamentally did not know that DeMarvin Overshown, he assumed, listen to what I'm saying, y'all. He assumed that all of that took place all on Monday. That's the problem. He didn't do his homework, and he doesn't understand, like, hey, this happened December 2021. There's things that have occurred since then. These are more formality things. Teams are like, it's the assumption, right? Because if you get tied up into the paperwork and we were talking about this in the group chat, Kieran, but somebody over there at the courthouse, at the Van Zant courthouse, saw that lime green drink pull up and hit the bat phone. And was like, oh, yeah, Overshown's over here. Wonder what's going on.
Well,
somebody might want to look into it.
What I will say is, whoever found out that the DA of Van Zant County was a Texas Tech grad is hilarious. Because I'm not gonna put it out of the realm of possibility, because there were reports that people were calling the police department and they were just saying, he was booked this morning, as if he was like not, oh, he came in for a walkthrough, this happened back in December. No. He was there for all of 8 minutes, walked in, got arrested, got let go, went back to practice. You know what I mean? And I like what Demo came out and said, though, too. Like, he's like, I'm sorry about the distraction that this gives to my teammates. And that's really where it hurts us. It's not so much the fact that he had this walkthrough or there's this situation going on. That's life. Like, it'll happen. You know what I mean? But the freaking the distraction that it gives the team, man, come on now. Come on. What do you think?
And look, Chris Hummer deserves the heat. He deserves to be criticized, and I was upset with him, right? But he did apologize. He did handle it as well as you possibly could have.
Yeah.
Like I do sense.
Deleted it, like
Yeah,
DM'd Demo. Like I thought that was very like obviously shouldn't have done it in the first place. But if you are wrong, to go about it the way that he did was very noble in my
absolutely.
opinion. Yeah.
You tweeted something. You yourself tweeted something a couple weeks ago about people
Oh yeah,
dying
people
on
people
fake.
hate me. Yeah, people will die on any hill. People do not like being wrong. There's an accountability issue in the world today for real. So it's definitely a problem out there. But I thought it was very big of him, and I think we should as a people. Like obviously it's frustrating. It does give us a distraction. Obviously that's still something that's really frustrating. But I'm not gonna sit here and hold it against the guy. He's done loads of good work for 24/7 over the years. I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, he's just
Yeah,
terrible. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
yes, he made a bad decision. He released something that could have hurt the perception of a young football player, a young man. You know what I mean? It sucks. But also, come on now. I bet Demo. It's been an eventful weeks though. Like a bit like any
yeah.
fathers
Let's
out there. I
move
feel like
on.
this sort of
Let's
stuff just
move on to
happens.
the next thing.
Yeah.
So we lost the appeal. It's been
Mhm.
denied, and he is
Of course.
going to. What'd you say?
I said, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Of
I
course.
think they said out of the 11 appeals that have been filed for targeting, only one of them has gone through
Yeah.
and
No.
actually been appealed. Like the
Yeah.
other 10 failed. So he lost the appeal. He will sit the first half of Tech. This sucks, man. I mean, I understand. And shout out to Tracy Williams, like who, I give Tracy a lot of shit. He's our ref friend. That's a brother to me. So yeah, like same way Kieran and I give each other shit. We're that's just how we communicate to each other. And Tracy, same thing. But when it's serious matters, Tracy did chime in and say, look, like the rule's the rule. However, I don't agree with the rule as a referee. I don't agree with the interpretation. I don't agree with how it's written. I don't agree with the gray area that they leave there, and I don't
Yeah.
agree with how they choose to enforce it. Like he was very open about that, and Tracy will talk to you about it. Who is, I'm not trying to put all his business out there. He works for the UIL. He's reffing college games now, but
Oh
this is
damn!
the reality.
Congratulations, Tracy. I did not know that he was reffing college games.
Oh
Congratulations.
yeah, Tracy on the come up, bro.
Yeah. When I'm thinking about this, so obviously the rule saying forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player. In this case, they're saying that Frank Harris was defenseless in that
Which is
situation.
BS.
Wait, it's completely BS. He's a quarterback standing in the pocket. Is he like he
can see everything?
He can see everything. How is he defenseless? He literally braced for the hit, which is like it doesn't make sense to me. Or leading with the crown of the helmet is the other thing. DeMarvion Overshown did not lead with the crown of his helmet. There was forcible contact from the head or neck area with his helmet and Frank Harris's. But at the end of the day, I think if we're just looking at a targeting call and saying, "Oh, this man's helmet hit somebody else's helmet," what are we doing? What are we doing? Do you know how unbelievably hard it is to react in a split second to someone changing their levels and ended up like smacking them in the face? Like he's literally dipping down. That play doesn't happen like that if he's not bracing for the hit. So how are you going to tell me that he's defenseless? That doesn't make sense to me. And obviously it's frustrating, but the league office is going to do what the league office does. I don't understand why there's an appeal process there if it's not clear as day that this man should be suspended or that should really be a call. If there's a question there, why are we not giving the benefit of the doubt to the kid? That's my big frustration there. If there's a question, if there's a like, okay, this is kind of a middle ground type play, why are we not giving the benefit of the doubt to the kid that is out there trying to play football with his team? We're taking one of the best players in the conference out of the game.
Right.
Out of a conference opener. We're gonna miss him for the first half of that game. Like that's frustrating to me. That's really frustrating.
Right off the gate, man.
Yeah. And I think another thing is too, we really gotta, how many years is this? We gotta have a talk about the punishment. If you still want to do a suspension thing, do a half. Do a half. Don't take someone out for the next game. That's terrible. That's terrible. Like it doesn't make sense to me that like I get targeting, I get protecting these players 100%. I get it. But I think there needs to either be a discussion about intent, whether there was like harmful intent in the hit or like leading with the crown of the helmet directly, like you know what I mean? Like it's frustrating watching players get ejected time in and time out, and honestly, changing the course of games. Last year, if you guys watched last year, Alabama played Auburn. Jamison Williams on punt coverage ends up hitting someone with the crown of his helmet, ends up out, like, he's out of the game in the first half. Their offense went completely, like, just took 5 steps back. If they would have lost that game, you wouldn't see Bama in the national championship that year. Right. That's an impact player on their offense. That, like, these sort of decisions end up ruining opportunities for teams. And one of these days, man, it's gonna result in a loss for a team. Like, you're gonna have a loss for a key player. Like, I'm waiting for the day that a quarterback gets ejected for targeting because he hit someone with the crown of his helmet, like on an interception return, you know? But it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on it though. Like, what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, I went ahead and blocked that guys, in the chat. The Michael Johnson guy. Well, I mean, I blocked him for 5 minutes. We'll see what happens. But in terms, I like this comment here in regards to what we're saying in terms of there needs to be more. It can't be as black and white as it is. It can't be, and it's too black and white. It's become this whole thing of, you know, there's no, like, you can tell intent. Like, for example, DeMarvion Overshown does not deserve the same punishment as Gay from LSU when he took the headshot on Jordan Travis in the Florida State game. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. There has to be some sort of balance, even if it's a 15. If they had given him a 15-yard penalty, but they're like, hey, you can stay in the football game. And I feel like they have more of this nuance, even in the NFL right now, where they measure that versus what we're seeing right now in college.
If this was the NFL, they give fines for targeting penalties in the NFL. You think DeMarvion Overshown would be sitting here with the fine right now? No, they could have called it on the field, but he probably wouldn't be sitting here with the fine. No. So why is the appeals process in college football different? Because now his fine is missing a half of football in his contract year. That's 2 quarters of plays that he could make, that he could put on film.
And our, like you said, our first road football game. I mean, we're going to get to Tech, breaking down Tech here in a second, but to your point about the player, I mean, you know, the football team, like, it puts us in a hole. The guys that are out there, he's kind of our Swiss Army knife type playmaker as well. I mean, and again, if it was deserved, you wouldn't hear us crying about this right now. If it was deserved, look, you take your penalty, we deal with it, we move forward. But I mean, we're playing football, guys. It's a contact sport. There has to be more grace with these rules.
And a lot of fans might not like this too, but it's the same way I felt about the Dallas Turner hit on Quinn. It's football. It's football. Like, I understand. Like, he wrapped his arm around, ended up picking him up.
Quinn, did he drive? Yeah,
he drove. But
it's not. Yeah, it's not egregious. It's football.
You can't look. You can't say you want nastiness from your defensive lineman and then complain whenever some shit like that happens. Come on now. Come on. Let's be real. But at the end of the day, I just think it's ejecting kids is such a tough rule, man. Especially
thank you, Beaver. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you.
Like, do you know how insane everyone would go if they were kicking people out of NFL games? If Micah Parsons, a premier pass rusher in the NFL, got ejected for helmet-to-helmet contact. Come on now. What are we doing? Now, if it's egregious, sure. And that's what I think you're talking about there. Like, intent needs to be a discussion that we're having here, you know?
Has to be. The other thing too, not Beaver, thank you for the super chat and thank you for this comment. We just try to get on here and have fun and vibe with y'all. So it means a lot. Nash said Kieran Sirius is a heart attack. Right?
I'm upset.
Like, this is a blow. Like, it's not a blow from the standpoint where I think you and I are on the same page where we don't think it's going to impact, like, the outcome of the game ultimately, but more so for the player himself, right? Even versus the impact on the overall football team. Speaking of Dallas Turner and hits and all this type of stuff, Quintavious,
my boy Quinjamin.
So I think he's going to play. Do you follow that same sentiment, or do you
I
feel?
So seeing him practice or seeing him go out there, throw the ball, suit up against UTSA last week, figured West Virginia was very likely. I think I was feeling that about a week afterwards, or like a couple of days after, whenever we were hearing that like it wasn't as serious as advertised with the 4 to 6 weeks, and also Sarkeesian saying that he was day to day. I was like, okay, so West Virginia is probably the target. Him coming back this week is interesting. I think at this point, yes. Like if he's fully in practice, he's throwing the football around, why not? And honestly, this is the tough thing though. I don't want that kid to take a hit and get hurt again. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough because I don't want to feel like we're rushing him back, but at the same time, can't lie. With his arm, his ability, his anticipation on throws, the way this offense clicks whenever he's at the helm, you got to play him. Starting off on the road, give him that test, throw him in the fire. Like Sarkeesian keeps saying at every press conference this year, adversity is going to strike this season. How do you guys deal with it? I think this is his own. Come back, deal with the shoulder, go out there, ball out, beat the team that couldn't get you over us.
Shout out to my man Jonathan Davis over at Locked On Longhorns. He's doing a great job over there. That's the other homie. We have to get John over here on this channel too. Make sure you guys follow Locked On Longhorns and subscribe. Right, keep saying this for you to show love. I just did a video before we got on here. I was recording earlier tonight. I recorded with Amanda Atwell. Had another follow-up conversation. Amanda Atwell from Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and we had a very long conversation about Quinn Ewers and the injury, and she provided some insights too as a former college athlete herself. And your first sentence was the same first sentence she said about I don't want to rush him back and the risk of re-injury, which is very, 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 very real.
It's a valuable asset. He's a very valuable asset.
He's a very valuable asset. And the reality of the situation is as soon as he steps on that football field, that collarbone, that area where the injury occurred is a target, period. But it's going to be a target no matter when he comes back. Right? And exactly. We know how football works. Guys are going to lean on it. Guys are going to want to test that. Like, same type of, if he gets into a situation. I mean, one thing I didn't even freaking bring up when I was talking to Amanda, but I'm thinking about it now, the play call, right? Yeah. Like, is Sark, does that change if he plays? Does Sark, be a little bit more careful with the bootlegs or completely turning his back to the defense? Because, boxing, right? We just watched Canelo and Triple G. Hands up, protect yourself at all times, right? And so that goes for the quarterback. The more the quarterback can see, the better he can protect himself. That goes for the play call, the offensive play caller, right? Got to protect your guys. Offensive line. That area on his body will be a target, period.
Yes.
John Johnson, you bringing up Sam Bradford. We've been on the other side of this, y'all. And I'm not – Aaron Williams is not a dirty player. But we gonna lean on it. And that's what he did. And he broke Sam. He did. Yeah. But play calling, right? They called a boot. OU calls a boot, knowing his shoulder. And as soon as what happened on that it was a perfect blitz, right?
Yep.
Corner blitz. They call the bootleg. Aaron drives him into the ground. Sam Bradford never plays another snap in college again. He's done. So there's a lot that comes into this. And so I see people got some strong comments on here.
Yeah, people are yeah.
Do not play Quinn, Kieran.
Oh. Look, man. Look. I want to play the player that gives us the best opportunity to win football games. And at the end of the day, he can come back this week, he can come back next week. It's football. He's going to get hit regardless. He's going to get hit against OU. He's going to get hit against West Virginia. He's going to get hit this weekend against Texas Tech. How does he respond to that? If we're rushing him back, if it seems like it's giving him discomfort, obviously I don't think Sarkeesian's going to go out there and throw him out. But I trust Sarkeesian in this scenario. I think he's going to play Quinn if Quinn's ready to play. Also, man, it's up to the kid too. That you don't think his family, they're interested in protecting his talent? Like I think if he's ready to play, he's going to go out there and he's going to play. He's got something to prove this year. So I see him going out there and doing it. But I think the fact that he's already practicing Monday, I think the fact that he came out here, he's got a full week of practice. I think it's likely you see Quinn Ewers go out there and start. So we'll see.
So tomorrow the video with Amanda is going to drop, and Peter, this was the point I made in that video. I do think Quinn needs the reps.
Yeah.
I'm the one thing, like, he needed those reps against ULM as a tune-up to be sharp for the fight against Bama, which he was sharp. He needed those reps. He had not played. While he had thrown and he'd been getting reps and practicing and all that, he hadn't been in a game where he's allowed to get hit in 2 years. He needed the reps against ULM, and he needed to play in front of everything's live, right? It's a mentality. He was sharp the following week. Yeah. If I'm saving, yes, I'm waiting for him to be fully, okay, he's fully ready to go. But now we start having a freaking Russ conversation again in Dallas in the middle of the Red River shootout against a very, very, because we're going to talk about the Big 12 here shortly, against a very aggressive Oklahoma defense. I want him to get the reps. If he can get the reps,
needs them.
He needs them, especially
I wouldn't be comfortable throwing him right back out there. Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable throwing him right back out there against OU. And the fact that he has the opportunity to get 2 games worth, to get himself back in the groove this weekend, to get himself even further entrenched next week. Also, keep in mind, if this is, I didn't even think about this until right now. If Quinn Ewers doesn't come back this weekend, his first ever game outside of DKR would be in the Red River game.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. You're telling me his first ever game away from DKR is Dallas? How crazy that environment is, how quick things can switch. Now, granted, I think Quinn is one of those guys. He's one of those cats, as the old heads say. He's one of them cats that just doesn't get rocked. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he's a 19-year-old kid. He's an all-world talent. But man, his first ever away game, his first time with fans screaming at him, and he's got him right behind his back. That's a lot. That's a lot for your first away game. So now that I've thought about that, I really, really want to see him play this week.
All right, Dimple Wonder, I love you, but this is a totally different situation. Caleb Williams came off the bench into a situation where the person in front of him was having a mental breakdown and losing the game, okay? And then he came in and got one of the things. Caleb Williams, yes, came in and seized the day in Dallas. Nobody's disputing that. Okay, if there's OU fans in here, we clearly acknowledge that. We have eyes. However, that first play call where he came in and got to run up the middle and break away, that set his day up for the rest of the game. Because he came in, the game had already started. It's like coming off the bench in basketball. Totally different mindset, totally different scenario. Also, Caleb Williams is not from the DFW area. This OU game is different for tons of reasons. Quinn Ewers being from the area, it's a lot of emotions.
Growing up a Texas fan.
OU. He grew up a Texas fan.
Exactly.
You're going home essentially. You're playing in the state fair. Like Tech is a great situation to get used to, get comfortable to playing in chaos. Okay, I'm comfortable throwing the ball away from home. I'm comfortable having to go silent count, potentially. There's times in that game where you're on one side of the field and you got to go silent. Right?
It's their first sellout since 2018. They're going to be up for this game. They're excited to play us. Like I said, I made this tweet I made this tweet a little bit earlier, but all the OU fans were saying that y'all aren't our Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. Come on now. Like, come on. I was saying Texas is everybody's Super Bowl. You need to experience that on the road. He's going to have to at some point this year. We're going to have to go to Oklahoma State. We're going to have to go to Kansas State. Going to Texas Tech. This is probably out of the 3 away games, the true away games that we have this year. Those are like, this one's probably the scariest one. Him feeling that environment. Him having things not go his way early on the road. I want to see how he responds to that too. He's never played in an environment like this. So it's very key for him to go out there and get that experience, in my honest opinion. And I hope he's healthy. I hope we're not throwing him out there, rushing him because we're not confident. You know what I mean? That to me is inexcusable. Like, we need to have We need to have a solid game plan regardless of who the quarterback is out there. But my thing is, if he gives you the best chance to win, also he's young. He gives you the best chance to win, and you have to throw him into the fire. You have to. That's the only way these kids learn.
The player's always going to lobby to play. Quinn was trying to throw was throwing, and you kind of heard, Sark get a little bit more candid about it after the UTSA game in terms of Quinn kind of hovering around and throwing some footballs and be like, yo, I'm actually feeling pretty good, coach. Like these kids want to play, man.
He's getting that itch back, man.
Yeah. So you got to protect them from themselves, and that includes the medical staff. But I trust UT's medical staff, and I trust that if they clear the player, that he needs to play. I'm sorry, if he's cleared, he needs to play. Here's the other thing: people have been sending me this stat all day, and it's valid. Wide receivers haven't caught a touchdown yet. Xavier Worthy, people posting his stats, all the box score watchers out there, even though he cooked against Bama, all of a sudden now everybody has. Look, I think, the criticism.
Xavier's run wide open all season long. Anybody, like, you just don't watch film. Like, that's just, you're calling yourself out. You're dry snitching, crapping on Xavier Worthy's game.
But I think there has been valid critique about him attacking the football when it's in the air, and what more can he do? And is he a true number one receiver in the standpoint of, I'm doing whatever it takes to protect the quarterback and all those type of things. Those are nitpicky things, but they're valid things in my opinion to bring up, and things. He's only a sophomore. He has to refine and continue to get better at his craft. That's just facts with X, and he knows that. I do think, though, Steve Sarkisian and the way that he calls plays when Quinn Ewers is in there,
it's different.
I would like to get my guys in rhythm on the outside. I like that we've incorporated the tight ends and the backs, and they're a part of the pass game. We're starting to see a little bit go-go sprinkled in. Love it. We got to get these guys on the outside starting to roll and starting to hit on these shots, because we're having some issues in run blocking. We're having some issues up front in terms of really creating holes. Now, our backs have been phenomenal, and they just create anyway. But if we really want to make life easier for everybody else on the team, we need Quinn in there to do what he does and be special down the football field, to open everything else up underneath so guys can breathe.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like he's got to experience these things, man. It's the same way. Like honestly, the quicker you throw them out there, the way I viewed Quinn Ewers this season, especially like after that opening drive against ULM where he threw the pick, I was like, all right, well, we got one out of the way. Like we're one mistake closer to getting like the true elite player that Quinn Ewers is going to be. So I think the more time he gets out there, the more he's able to learn, the more he's able to feel pain, because this is football, bro. You're gonna have times where you're hurt again. You're going to have times where that shoulder's hurting, where that elbow's hurting, where your fingers got jammed. You're going to have those times out there. Put him out there in a rough environment. Let him learn. Let him learn. See if he rises to the occasion. You got to find out what you got. He's the franchise right now. He is.
He is.
So we'll see what happens. Also, you really got to get these wide receivers going. You really do. I don't want to go into the OU game. Hell, I don't want to go into next week playing against West Virginia, who likes airing that shit out. I don't want to go into next week without these wide receivers in rhythm. We need to find out what we have right now. I need to see Xavier Worthy get hit for a touchdown. I need to see Jordan Whittington get hit for a touchdown. I need to see Jatavian Sanders start catching these jump balls. I need to see Casey Kane catch a jump ball, catch a touchdown. Ajay Hall get in the mix. Like it's about time. We got to see some of this.
Yeah, Tate Pritchard in the comments. I haven't been ignoring you, brother. I saw your comments earlier. And for the 219 in here, we appreciate the gang in here. Make sure you hit that like button and sub up if you're watching. If you want to be a part of the chat, sub up, but hit that like button and show us some love. But you're absolutely right, Kieran. Getting these guys in the flow and guys, look, if you're getting the football, you know how receivers are, and they deserve to get the football, because the last couple of weeks, especially last week, they were blocking their asses off downfield, man. They were doing dirty work stuff, even though they weren't really getting the football like that. Like Jordan Whittington ate more so than everybody else, I would say, in terms of at least getting something downfield. But I saw Casey Kane out there making hustle plays, X out there. Like, guys are still doing
They're getting
what they
pancakes out
could,
there.
and they knew, hey, this is the Rojo game. This is the Bijan game where we're just going to out freaking talent and muscle UTSA and drive them into, and that's good. We got to win like that. We can win ugly in a sense.
Yeah.
Even Keelan Robinson out there when they went some of that go-go stuff with the jumbo set. Shout out to Nino and the video he did on all the offensive line breakdown. Y'all should go check that out. Subscribe to Nino's Corner. He did a great breakdown. He even talked about what we've been doing with Carrick and our jumbo sets. But when in the Bama game, we were trying to throw out of the jumbo and throw deep.
Yep.
We got to hit on that stuff. Right? That tape needs to start to get validated.
Yeah.
And so now the Ajayi Hall thing, because I want to touch on, I have this comment here up on Billingsley. I think we're still 3 more games.
Yeah.
He's suspended.
He's suspended through after the OU game.
Okay. So shout out to Charles Billingsley. He's a great Twitter follow, by the way. Jalil's dad. He's awesome. But Billingsley, I think right now, to answer this question, if the receivers, if they're not able to get it going or we're not able to have that consistency, let's say Ajayi Hall gets in there and he's still kind of inconsistent like he was at Bama, and Case Kane is not a non-factor. Yeah. I think Jalil Billingsley now becomes very, very real in terms of helping you. Yeah. I think what happens over these next 3 weeks will determine how much and how quickly we'll need to get Jalil back in the fold.
No, that's the thing that I keep saying is like, dude, like we haven't even seen, like you've seen obviously this offense start clicking. You've seen that it can reach a very elite level. You haven't seen the 12 personnel with Jatavian Sanders and Jalil Billingsley on the field, split, like running out of that or splitting five wide and just having nightmare matchups all over the field. Putting Jay Witt, Xavier Worthy out there, Jalil Billingsley, Bijan Robinson, and Jatavian Sanders. You can run out of that formation very well. You can throw out of that formation extremely well. Like that, we haven't even really explored those possibilities. Or, bro, you could go jumbo. You could go jumbo with Carrick there. And now you just have one wide receiver out wide. It's Xavier Worthy. So now it's like, okay, yeah, sure. How many hats are you committed to putting in to stop this run game? Also, how many hats do you have that can really match up with us? Like, I didn't even really think about that with Andre Carrick. Dude, this offense is going to take a whole different step whenever you have a legit dynamic receiving threat come in as well. And that's the same thing goes for Ajayi Hall. If Ajayi Hall gets his head screwed on straight, we can start playing around with 10 personnel. This offensive line is capable of blocking. They've shown it time and time again. In pass pro, we've been very solid. And I'm interested to see what happens too. Like on the offensive line, at wide receiver, I think there's so much more that we could be doing that we haven't even shown so far. So that's a good thing so far in the season, but it's also kind of frustrating because I'm not sure how much of a rhythm they've gotten themselves into.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Kieran, you laid out all these possibilities. Mm-hmm. It's also like, okay, but going back to Quinn needing the reps, let's start to get a rhythm. Even if it's just, okay, we're really effective out of, if we can get back to where we were, where we felt like our rhythm was really good first quarter against Bama. Now, guys, I know somebody said, that, hey, the receivers were eating when Quinn was in there. Yeah, but we also have to understand a lot of that stuff in the first quarter was scripted. We didn't get to see. One thing I wish we got to see.
Steven, just give me 1 second. I got to let my water up real quick.
Oh, no, you good. One thing I wish we got to see in the Bama game was if Quinn got to stay on board, how he would react, him with Sark, to the adjustments that Nick Saban and Pete Golding would have eventually thrown at them, right? And how he navigates a journey over a course of 4 quarters with his group of pass catchers. That's also really, really, critical to look at as well. So I just feel as though if he's healthy and he's ready to go and he's cleared, he needs the reps. And this group of receivers needs him in there, able to give him the football. I know somebody else asked about Hudson Card. Marlon said these comments are fantastic. But anyway, I know somebody asked about Hudson Card, and hopefully he's getting even healthier on his end. He looked, for the most part of the UTSA game, pretty solid. I'm hoping, if they say, hey, we're going to go another week, which again I don't foresee, but if that's the case, they're able to still open it up and have an emphasis this week on getting our pass catchers in rhythm and getting them the football. I'd like to see Agiye Hall get into the mix, even if it's just a small package, just to get him out there to put something, see how the defense reacts. That's where I'm at right now. I mean, I know he's needed some time to get ramped up, and you don't want to put guys on the field that you may or may not trust, or you're not sure they understand certain nuances or how to react to the defense in terms of some of the route combos, because Sark's offense is, and that's one thing where Casey Kane, they really like Casey Kane. He's always on time. He always understands his assignment. It's one thing I've been so complimentary of Jordan Whittington about playing out of the slot. His football IQ is through the roof. He always understands proper depth and where he needs to be at. That's why it's really hard playing some of those younger guys there at that slot position, which we saw Alabama struggle with Kobe Prentice and Christian Leary and some of those other guys that they were playing, Isaiah Bond, because those young guys, yeah, they're fast. They have all the ability in the world, but they struggle with some of their depth. Bryce Young was getting frustrated, and hands, right? Catching in traffic, navigating the middle of the football field. That's not just difficult for young quarterbacks, but also young receivers, especially that guys that are playing on the inside. So, just some of the little nuances that I think we need to understand, in terms of why Casey Kane plays so much, why we have to rely on Jordan Whittington, and why we had a drop off with Jordan Whittington last year when he left. Those are high football IQ guys that help you navigate the field in terms of quarterback play. We have welcome back, Kieran. You got your water?
Yeah, got my water. Got a whole delivery.
Cool. Stay we have a super chat from John Johnson. Thank you for the donation, first and foremost. Do you feel like Hall would be the receiver we have if we were at max potential or still X? Are you saying in terms of being the number one guy?
Yeah, I think he's asking if everyone was playing at their maximum potential, would he be
okay.
the guy? I'm not sure. I mean, obviously you have two of them. You can have two all-world wide receivers on your team, and it works perfectly for you. I don't think we got to make like a comparison there, but I think Hall's potential is limitless. He is unbelievably talented. It's up to him to put it together and get on the field
with what Hall's capable of.
Oh God, no! Hey, at least it's not the Neyor thing. Hey, the Neyor comparisons were freaking wild. Nash talks Texas, Isaiah Neyor, Julio Jones. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But
we brought up our homeboy John from Locked On Longhorns. I think it was John that put the poll out today about. It was a really good poll. If y'all didn't see it on Twitter, make sure you follow him. Of what injury has hurt Texas. I don't remember the context of the question. I think it was basically which one do we miss more? Was it Junior Angilau or Isaiah Neyor? And I know a lot of people hit on the Neyor piece.
I think it's.
I do think there's a world where Isaiah Neyor would have been the number one receiver. And
I
that's
think
not
right now
talking shit about X, by the way. It's not where I'm going with that. Go ahead, Karen.
No, I agree with you. I think Isaiah Neyor is talented enough to play himself into a first, second round pick. I literally think he's that talented. He's a freak athletically. He's capable of going up and making contested catches, and also the dude can run, man. He can run. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if he was in this offense, man. I think he'd probably have a couple of touchdowns right now. Also in the red zone. That's really the thing that I'm thinking of right now with Isaiah Neyor. It's also why I think Agiye Hall is a perfect option. But also Casey Kane's apparently been snagging some jump balls in fall camp too. So we'll see what that looks like later on down the road. But good God, it's going to be pretty inexcusable later on in the season. Even then, when we have Jatavian Sanders, Jaleel Billingsley, Casey Kane, Agiye Hall, Xavier Worthy, Bijan Robinson, all in the red zone and we're not completing these drives for touchdowns. You know what I mean? Against Bama, I'll give you an excuse, but later on in the season, it's gonna end up being a pretty tough sell if we're not finishing drives with touchdowns. But we'll see what happens. I do think Agiye Hall has to get on the field here soon. You know what I mean? It's gotta start eventually. You know, that kid's got too much talent to not be getting reps right now. I just yes. Neyor would have been putting his nuts on people's shoulders for sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's an old basketball reference. If you're there, you go to some AAU tournaments, you just hear dads yelling at their sons, "Put your nuts on his shoulders," you know? So I think Neyor definitely would have had some nuts on shoulders if things were happening the way I wanted this season.
Guys, I can confirm. Okay. Actually, both Kieran and I can confirm. That Nash Talks Texas and Texas Homer are two different people.
They are not the same person.
They are not the same person.
Met both of them.
They are two different.
They are two different people. Yep.
We have known and seen them both. They are two different people.
Who got him confused? Is it? Oh, David.
I thought
Homer was Nash.
They thought Nash was Homer's burner. What's going on here? Y'all
that'd be funny.
Nash is Homer's burner. Oh, y'all are killing me.
Damn. Those are the two people that I know that have PFF subscriptions. I'm jealous.
Oh, man. They're two different people, guys.
Two different people, yeah.
So, thank you for the super chat, Vicente. I'm assuming this is thank you. This is something that I mentioned to Locked On Longhorns, and I know he did a video about differences over the course of the first 3 games that we've noticed. And this is just something that, a conversation I had with Yolanda Taylor, who was the mother of Jalen Ford. And she really was so complimentary of Coach Becton and the whole program. Because what a lot of people don't realize, and Kieran, feel free to add some light to this as well, the strength and conditioning coach and the people that are in the staff and the coordinators, those people are around the players all offseason. Like there's no days off with them being with the kids. And they're really there, not just improving their bodies and nutrition and speed and also working with the medical staff on people that need rehab and all those things, but also the culture, right? Like, who are the leaders? Who's making sure that guys are leading the right way? Lift partners. I know that was a big deal early on. Like, hey, when we're in the weight room, who do I want Bijan paired up with so that we can help bring along certain people or establish certain things? Or where do we want Roshan today? There's a lot that goes into that job that is very, very, very mental. And so speaking with her, she really highlighted just the growth that she saw in her own son vocally. And so a lot of you guys have been commenting. Somebody commented on a previous video saying that, I haven't touched enough about the pre-snap communication and the improvement we've seen with the defense. And you guys are spot on with that. If you watch Jalen Ford and DeMar Van Overshawn talk to each other before the snap, they are screaming at each other constantly.
That's
right?
one thing that I didn't get to say. I didn't get to end up. I overslept like crazy. I had a wild Saturday night, but I didn't get to come on on you guys' recap show talking about the defense. That's one thing that I didn't see as much against UTSA as I saw against Alabama. I mean, against Alabama, pre-snap, every single play, Overshawn is yelling commands. Jalen Ford is yelling commands. They're running around. Bug Thompson is in the back, like pointing. You're seeing
right. Bug is and Anthony A. Cook is screaming too.
You're seeing Watts and you're seeing Watts and Jamison or Jameer Johnson on the other side, just like giving each other calls, whatever it is. I didn't see as much of that against UTSA, and I felt like obviously just from a visual standpoint, obviously I'm sure UTSA was throwing a little bit more simplistic looks at them than Bill O'Brien was trying to scheme up at Alabama. You know what I mean? Also, it is what it is. You don't have Bryce Young, his legs to worry about, Jahmyr Gibbs, Caleb Burton, all these talented players that you're really, really worried about. But honestly, it's something that I saw against ULM. more than I saw against UTSA. And I don't know. I wasn't in the stadium. I didn't get to see pre-snap what's happening before. I don't know if their sequence of play calling is a little bit different, but it's something that I would like to see this week again. Especially because, man, this Texas Tech offense rather is so. I'm not going to say they're easy to exploit, but they have weaknesses. They have a lot of weaknesses. They have a quarterback that has Spencer Sanders, Spencer Sanders tendencies, I'll say. They have an offensive line that's leaky as hell. There's going to be opportunities to make there. This defense needs to be opportunistic on the road. Definitely.
Guys, make sure you check out Texas Homer's preview video. I need to watch it myself. I've been recording today, so I haven't gotten a chance to check it out since he dropped it this afternoon. I'm gonna check it out after I go through this. But I'm willing to bet he mentioned some things about Donovan Smith.
Oh yeah.
I'm willing to bet that, it's on film, right? The NC State game, the Houston game, the pick sixes, and the Jekyll Hyde stuff, right? Also, his pocket, this is just something and I noticed this with a lot of bigger quarterbacks because he's a big, big kid.
Yeah.
But he stands straight up in the pocket, Kieran.
Mm-hmm.
This kid, it's almost like flat-footed, before
he's
not
unathletic either. It's weird.
He's not unathletic. It's more of it's more of a technical issue that he has. He stands straight up and down. And it was one of those things too when I was watching the NC State game. They were almost like the commentators were kind of being a little cruel in terms of, he actually moved his feet that time. They started kind of talking trash about him because he's standing straight up. And some of these bigger guys that have big arms and they can see everything, they get lazy with all of the other fundamentals. Think about it this way. We just played Frank Harris and Bryce Young that are very similar in terms of their body. They got to move, right? Yeah. Sometimes Bryce is moving to C. A lot of times Frank Harris is moving to C. So they have to be on their shit footwork-wise, navigating the pocket or scrambling. Donovan Smith has the luxury of being able to see over everybody.
Yep.
Right? And so he gets very lazy. And what you see is he stands there and he stands straight up and down. And he not only is he getting sacked, he's getting blasted.
Yeah.
You see it.
It's an awareness thing, for sure. I think this is another thing. Given the first 3 games and the expectation that this defense is set for themselves, are we the best defense that Tech has played this year?
I believe, based upon what we've done the first 3 games, yes.
We should be, right?
We should be.
And this is my thing. Yes, I get it's a conference game. I get that we have a lot of questions, injury concerns. We're missing Demo. It is what it is in the first half. You have to go out there and you have to set the tone early. You need to take everything away from them early in this game. You got to get pressure on him. All of the weaknesses that they've shown on film, you need to exploit early in this football game. Inject some doubt in their minds. Let them know, we know where your weak spots are. That's where we're going after. We're going to keep attacking those until you fold. And my thing is, against Tech, this game, God bless. How many times have we been better than Tech and we go in there and it ends up being a close game? 2018, way better than Tech, ends up being a close game.
And that's a concern for me too, right? And that's why the spread is what it is right now, quite frankly, in my opinion, because there's that doubt there, that just like there was doubt there about UTSA being a trap game, and in the first half, Texas's performance not starting fast like we normally do, that actually we played into that. Now it was a win for us ultimately in terms of overcoming that, covering and winning decisively when we got on our shit and made our adjustments. We hadn't shown that in the past, so that's good. But with Tech on the road, you can get lost. And the one thing they do have, I like Taj Brooks. I have him on the thumbnail. You had a super chat question, Eric. I'm sorry if I missed it. I'll go back up. But with while I'm looking for it. Oh, okay. Here we go. I'll leave it right here. Let me make my point, and then we'll get to your question. Okay. But with Brooks, And some of these guys that can run after the catch, like a guy like Price and some of the other guys that are a little bit dynamic, I can see we've had problems in the past against teams like Tech that aren't great. But again, my 10 scale, how well is people playing today? Tech will come in there all of a sudden and executing at a 9 today.
Yeah.
That's what happens. They'll have a great week of practice. All of a sudden, all the bad tendencies, they're just not doing it and they're executing. Yeah. And they have a good game plan. Because one thing I will say is with our tendency to play off, that's a PK thing and you know how he navigates. I do expect Tech, even though that's not really their thing so much, quick game like UTSA with Frank in them, where that was naturally what they do. I would not be surprised if they say, you know what, we're going to try to establish a little bit of run with Taj and mix it up.
Yeah. So Roderick Thompson's still there for their 7th year. Yeah, like they have like they're gonna try to make things happen offensively. Obviously, Zach Kitley, I don't know if he's the strongest at getting a run game going. Mr. I want to throw 50 passes a game, you know, but now that he's seen his quarterback's kind of...
If he wants to frustrate us, he needs to do that.
Exactly. 100%. And my thing is too, before we get to Eric's question here, I don't want to see I made this point. I forgot who I was talking to like after game day. I'm tired of seeing everybody look like Superman against us from the quarterback position. Every single year that we have had, there's been a quarterback that is not Superman that goes out there and looks like Superman against us. Whether it's Max Duggan, I'm not going to say Taysom Hill wasn't Superman because God, I mean, he's kind of showing it in the NFL.
Maybe don't want to see Donovan Smith turn into prime MVP Cam Newton.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like last week, Frank Harris looked like a superstar in the first half. You're talking about, I mean, he's escaping the pocket, dropping dimes on the run, and they're wobbly passes, but they're just not missing. You know what I mean? Max Duggan, good guy. We got Joseph Osai was in his face all game, and he's just dropping dimes on the out. Like, make it hard for him. Make it as hard for him as possible. Make him beat you. In my opinion, that's what you have to do. So prioritize stopping that run. It is what it is. If he has to throw the ball 40, 50 times and he beats you through the air and they end up scoring 35 points because of it, so be it. So be it. My thing is, prioritize what you've prioritized this season. I believe that, like you said, stopping the run creates it's a confidence thing. The defense plays better whenever you go out there and stop that run. So you need to be able to take it away from them.
You rush better. You make the defense you make the offense one-dimensional. It like I was actually getting a little frustrated with how leaky we were against the run last week. Like I know we ended up settling under 3 yards a carry at the end of the game, but UTSA couldn't run on anybody. And so, like, just even the little we gave up, even the touchdown where I'm like, guys, come on.
It looked like we reverted back for that first half. We were missing tackles. We were in the right spot so many times. It looked like we reverted right back to what it was last year. Weren't tackling, letting up runs, nickel and diming us down the field. It was a problem. It was a real problem. I like the way that the team responded, though. That's something I want to touch on after we get to Eric's Super Chat.
Yeah, let's get to Eric's Super Chat. So he said, why haven't we seen more speed packages, X, Thompson, Keelan, JT, with some outside passes hitting them over the top? Well, the quarterback challenges. Like we haven't had our starting quarterback. We've had our starting quarterback for 5 quarters.
Yeah.
Maybe. Have we even had?
Because I don't even know if we've had him for.
Did he play the 4th quarter of ULM? Has Quinn played 4 quarters?
No, I don't think he's played 4 quarters yet. I think we've had him for
Quinn hasn't even played 4 quarters yet.
He hasn't even played a full 4 quarters of football yet. No.
All right, so that would be in terms of why we haven't maximized them. I will say the younger receivers have been a little slower to come on than maybe we expected. Like, you know, Brendan Thompson. Now he did get sick. He had bronchitis and they had some other things going on. So I know he has to work his way back health-wise. Savion Red, some of the other younger guys have only played sparingly. We talked about Ajayi Hall earlier and when he'll be available. Casey Kane, I was going to make this point earlier. I'll make it now. I haven't seen Casey Kane make a mistake.
No.
I understand.
He's not going to beat himself.
I watch him and I'm like, I understand why he's out there. I understand why Brendan Marion and them are running him out there. Like he's not screwing up. Right. So I get the wanting to get the speed on the field and be exciting. And Keelan's interesting because I do think there's some opportunities whether Hudson or Quinn is in there to just utilize. Keelan's just never going to be utilized enough. I don't know what it is, but
It's tough, guys. I'm sorry. Like this is my thing with Keelan. If he was an elite catcher of the football, you'd see him in there a whole lot more. You would.
True.
Now, my thing is he still dynamic as hell? Yes. And I think you are going to see him like we do use him in packages now in games where it's like, okay, you have this burst of speed. We can run three running back sets. If you want to be dynamic in the run game, dude, our go-go package they're gonna add more and more to that. I'm telling you throughout the rest of the season. And it's gonna be tough. Especially we went out there in 30 personnel against Alabama. I think you might see more of that package later on in the season. But Keelan Robinson he's a phenomenal player. He's gonna end up getting touches, but it's tough when you have a generational back like in the backfield. You have the leader of the team and probably the hardest working, hardest playing player in the past. God bless. He's another Sam Ehlinger in terms of his mental aspect towards the game and how hard he plays and loves the school. Those are the two guys in front of Keelan Robinson in the room. And Keelan Robinson is still getting touches. So, I think you're going to see more of him. You're going to see him score some touchdowns this year. I honestly, truly believe that. You're going to see him make some really big plays. Also, I think you're going to see him make some plays in the return game, too. They're scared to kick, too. Just watch. They're scared to kick it to him. I think that's where he's going to make an impact.
That's a good point. We haven't got much action in the kick game. One thing I did notice with Tech, I think there's something to be said. And this is before we get to John's super chat. And thank you guys. And thank you guys for hitting the like button. And like I said, taking attendance, whole thing, sub up. We're about to go over 12,000 subscribers, which we're very grateful for. So help us get there. The whole bit. Tell a friend, spread the word. We know there's a lot of great content out there. So y'all just stopping in to say what's up and vibe with us and have a little group therapy, helps us all out. Before I get to John's point, though, I think there's a lot to be exploited special teams wise in this game. I was pissed off about the onside kick we allowed last week. And I know Jeff Banks I know he was fired up this week. He going to get that back in blood.
Yeah.
All right. He get it back in blood, bro. And this week, because Tech, they've had problems fielding punts. They've had problems with big returns. Houston game seemed like Houston was able to get the ball on punt and kick, just killing it.
I'll keep it a buck. If you put the AD son out there to return punts for my team, I bet
his ass
up. Are you out of your mind? You gonna put the AD son out there on the road? The AD son out there to return punts. That is disrespectful to me and my special teams unit. I'm telling you right now, bro. They put the AD son out there to return punts. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Not happening. Not happening. We better block a punt. We better go boom his ass downfield. He better not. I don't want to even see him touch the field. We better not punt all game, because if they go out there and he ends up fielding a punt safely, I'm gonna be hot. I'm not gonna lie to you. You don't put the athletic director's son out there. Are you kidding me?
Kieran, there's money to be made in special teams this week.
Yes, 100% money to be made. They got the AD son returning kicks. The AD son. Not say Texas Tech has talent, guys. The AD son out there returning kicks is wild.
That thing, bro.
Damn. What if that was a stipulation to Joey McGuire's contract? Look, hey, we know we're hiring you because you have a good relationship with the high school coaches, and also you put my son on punt returns, please. Like that might be what that was, because I don't get it. That team with that much talent,
all those brothers they have over there. Are you what? What is going on?
I don't know. I don't know what that was, bro. I'm not putting the AD son on punt return. Purely from, I don't even care if he's a dog. I'm not putting the AD son out there. No. The only AD son that gets my respect is Andrew Luck. That's it. I'm sorry.
Principle. Right. But yeah. You went out there bumping them things. So that set the tone for a bad day.
No.
Right off the bat. All right, let's answer John Johnson's super chat.
Yeah.
Over under for Tech is 60. To me, I think everything you're seeing Vegas wise, and I think this one is a quick answer. Everything you're seeing Vegas wise is shifting towards a look. I think they're starting to assume that Quinn is going to play. That's just my 2 cents on it, and I don't know if you want to add to that, Kieran, but I think signal to that.
I think you're looking at our offense that hasn't really been in rhythm the past 2 weeks. But also, what happened last year? The offense got in a rhythm against Texas Tech. You know what I mean? I think it's an opportunity for that. Honestly, if the over-under's at 60, I'd take the over. But also, I do think this is an opportunity for this defense to show. I can't keep stressing this enough. This is an opportunity for the defense to show how good you really are. On the road, first test, a team that's not good offensively. They have 114th ranked rushing offense in the country. They have a quarterback that's thrown 5 interceptions rather, in the past 2 weeks. You should go out there and dominate them. They should not score more than 20 points on you. They shouldn't. So if you want to play ball control, if you want to slow it down, I can understand why the over/under being there is what it is. And also, if you want to play conservative with Quinn, sure. But to be honest with you guys, I know we haven't gotten to predictions yet. To be honest with you, I feel like this is a team we should handle. If we're a good team, this is a team we should handle. Because offensively, they don't have anything to match us. But I know they're going to be up for this game. We'll see what happens. But this should be a team we go out there and handle.
And this goes right into the comment we got on the screen from Alan Barrera here. And you're absolutely right. Yes, I do preach this. And what Kieran just said is going to lead me to the point that was on my mind. Kieran and I, we're locked in tonight because he just brought up, he just bullied me right to the next point. One of the YouTubers out there that I love, he's one of the best college football content makers in the business. He's one of the best sports content creators in the business. Josh Pate, late kick Josh. One of the Pate State principles,
the commissioner of college football,
is great teams beat bad teams soundly. Now, sometimes I'm not saying outright, oh, Tech's a bad team. But when you have gaps and you have on paper, we should beat this team by multiple scores or whatever, right? Now, in this case, we can't say all that because the spread's only 6.5. But that's because there's a lot of doubt. But if we feel as though we are ascending towards the team we want to be, you have to beat bad teams like this. You have to make them look bad.
Yeah.
Make them look bad. Make people leave this game thinking that's what we did to Tech last year, quite frankly, when we dropped 70 on them. And so one of the things, too, that I think plays into that, and when you start to really kind of break it down a little bit more, I'm starting to get feedback about the defense as we start to transition over there. So everybody's like, yo, we're holding people 20 and under. Yeah, it's great. Yo, we're getting more pressure. Communication's better. And this is me saying this, right? But I have people that are not fully bought in, which is fair. And this isn't even a PK and GP type thing, right? This is more so, hey, Nash and Homer in here. There are analytics gurus for me. I learned so much from them analytics-wise. And the analytics people are like, hey, Texas is below average against, Pat. There's certain things where the numbers are not favorable, advanced analytics-wise. Defensively, there's things you can exploit against Texas. And my pushback to that has been, well, I just played, of my 3 games, I played Frank Harris and I played Bryce Young. So my numbers are going to be a little off. But I don't have a point. This is where it's a long-winded way of getting to this. I don't have a point in saying that if you don't turn over Donovan Smith. If you go and force turnovers, Kieran, you said earlier, we should be the best defense they've seen so far.
Yeah.
Which means that we should start getting those numbers. That means the sacks should go up, the turnovers should go up. He's thrown a pick 6 back-to-back weeks. Let's make it 3 weeks. Okay? No more, taking advantage of the opponent. If I'm going to make the argument that we don't have all the other advanced analytics right now because we've been playing good quarterbacks, and good quarterbacks typically take care of the football and convert on third down, because that's what good quarterbacks do, then our stats should go the other way when we play a shaky quarterback. And historically, we allow the shaky guys, i.e. Seth Dagey last year in West Virginia, to start the game and get in a rhythm. And all of a sudden, they're not a bad quarterback anymore. Or Max Duggan, like Kieran brought up earlier.
Yeah.
Now,
Max Duggan play. Hey, Max Duggan's balling right now. But
he's balling right now. So
watching Max Duggan play against everybody else on the schedule versus playing against us, it's frustrating. That's what I'm saying. Like when we play Adrian Martinez later this year, you see how he struggles. You see how he struggles against everybody in the Big Ten. I want to see that same struggle against us. I do. Like I'm tired of us giving, like you said, we give up so much easy stuff to quarterbacks that have been known to struggle. The one year that we took it to Spencer Sanders and he really showed his ass was the one year that we actually lived up to the hype. We like not the hype. It was the year that we actually went out there and treated that offense the way that they should have been treated. Like they were really solid with talent, but had a very turnover prone quarterback, and he lost the game for them. He lost the game for them. And I don't understand how we do that time and time again with teams that don't have as much talent as them. This should be a week where, honestly, it's going to answer a lot of questions for me personally. On the road, how does this young team respond? How does this young team respond? And also, can you make Donovan Smith look like the quarterback that he's shown he is? Can you? Can you take him out of the game? Can you make it frustrating for him? Can you pick him off a couple of times? I want to see.
I'll take it a step further because I like Joey McGuire, and you guys. I don't think he's not at he's in year one as a first year head coach in college, but he has a lot of that same type of grassroots Jeff Traylor type in him. And he's a legend, obviously a legend from the high school coaching ranks up in DFW. And so I think Joey's going to kill it at Tech. And Joey's already off to a great start. I respect the hell out of Joey. And I want him to have success. I really do. I like the guy. But one of the things I want to see us cause problems for, I want to see him over there having a headache because he's like, shit, I need to pull down of it.
Yeah. Same. If we show up with this type of game, like this has also been a frustrating thing. We show up with a better game plan against the better teams than we do against the ones that are trash. You give Spencer Rattler a nightmare. You give Bryce Young a nightmare.
The whole D ready for Spencer.
That's what I'm saying. You give Bryce Young a nightmare. Why is it that? And I understand a week after Bama, you're not going to be as up for Frank Harris. Frank Harris is 35 years old, playing quarterback for the 17th year for UTSA. I get it. But why are we sitting here questioning if this defense can get up when they did that to the Heisman Trophy winner, the number one pick in next year's draft? Play to that standard week in and week out. I don't listen. As shaky as this defense might look over the next two games, I don't doubt they're going to be ready come Dallas with they're going to come in with their best game plan. They're going to come in with all the energy to play against Dylan Gabriel and try to take him out of that game. Try to make him make as many mistakes as possible. I don't doubt that we're going to show up with that sort of energy. That needs to be a week in and week out thing. It's all like when you see great defensive teams do this, they do it time and time again. Georgia, it doesn't matter who we're playing. Spencer Rattler's struggling. Okay, we're going to show how bad he is. We're going to like that. That's my thing. Like make it to a point where it's like, okay, we know what this guy is. He's not going to have a good game against us. He's not going to have a momentum building game against us. Because how many times do we see guys have a decent game, go the next week, and they look like the same trash that they were before?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like we prep or we game plan for these quarterbacks like they're going to be terrible already. So it's like, oh, he's going to make mistakes. It's like, no, you still have to play the game. You still have to take him out of the game. But also, I wanted to give a shout out to the Texas ladies. Won in volleyball, reverse sweep against Kansas. I say Mike will put that in there. Number one team in the country. You know what it is.
And they bring out a crowd, man. They give everybody there that attends. I mean, I love the energy that's at the volleyball games and everything I see on social media. It's fantastic, the atmosphere and how the program is being run. Kieran, you brought up OU, and I saw somebody over here saying, well, we might be saving some stuff for OU. No, we in conference play now. And let me tell you something. How many of y'all watch OU Nebraska? Honestly, watch that game because I don't really count OU and Kent State. And who did they play the first game? I forgot who they played the first game.
They played.
Was it Murray State? Who they play?
They played someone trash. I just know that for sure.
Maybe I'm being disrespectful. I forgot who they played. Who did OU play in their first game?
Who did OU play?
So tell me in the chat. Where are y'all at?
They played UTEP.
UTEP.
Yeah.
UTEP. That's right.
They would play Kent State, and then
I said Murray State. That's disrespect. They played UTEP and they played Kent State, right?
Yeah.
Their turn-up game was the Nebraska game. Did OU look like they were holding? Did OU look like they were saving stuff, or did they go out there and freaking ball? I mean, come on, guys. Like
Yeah.
and one thing that I will be honest about, because I want to get into talking Big 12. That's one thing I wanted to do today because I know West Virginia and Kansas played. Newsflash: Kansas is not. That's not. That's not our. It's not the Kansas we're typically used to, guys.
Hey.
I'm not gonna touch that one right now. But as we look at the whole conference, all of us are playing conference games, I think, except for one person. Somebody's playing Duke. But like Baylor's playing Iowa State, OU's playing Kansas State. Like we're in conference play now. Texas Tech played Murray State game 1. I knew somebody played Murray State. I was like, why the hell is Murray State?
Murray State's in your mind, yeah. Texas Tech played Murray State game 1. It was 63-10.
But my point is, as we get into conference play and we look at these teams, if I'm being objective, like I was impressed with OU's defensive front, period.
Yeah.
Nebraska's offense was good. Nebraska's offense had been performing. Their defense has been trash. So I still
the offensive line is bad for Nebraska.
And their left tackle missed the game. He didn't play. Yeah. They moved somebody else over there and it was chaos. Yes. But Ethan Downs and Cannon and Jalen Redmond and a lot of stuff they were doing impressed me. It impressed me. Like it looked like, okay, that looks like Brett Venables with Todd Bates, and then we're doing at Clemson. Like, cool. This looks legit. Like Casey Thompson was in absolute hell in that game. I'm just saying that from a standpoint of they're not hiding anything defensively though. Like they were doing their normal disguise fronts. We're going to show 3, but we're bringing 5 and vice versa and all of that stuff. Like their point was on execution.
Yeah.
We want to look scary. We want to give the impression that we're the boogeyman. Like that's the same way I want to approach Tech in these teams. I'm not scared to run my stuff.
Yeah.
That's to me that should be Texas's energy too, man. Like I'm not going into a Tech game like, oh, I'm sitting on. You're always going to have something schemed up for every single person you play based upon how they attack you.
Yeah. I think on one hand, I'm like, I don't think defensively, play true to your identity is my thing. Always play true to your identity. Now, obviously, I think offensively, we haven't really been able to establish one because you've had, like you said, 3-4 quarters of your starting quarterback play. And also, I think the run game is going to pick up whenever people know that we have a downfield passing threat. I'm sorry, like nobody, Bama, UTSA was not scared to get beat deep against. They showed it playing one-on-one coverage with Xavier Worthy downfield, and we couldn't hit him. You know what I mean? Like it. Now having Quinn back, I think that's going to open up some things in the run game. Also, those safeties are going to have to respect the fact that Casey Kane's running 20, 30 yards downfield. Xavier Worthy, Jordan Whittington's running 20, 30 yards downfield. Like, they're going to have to respect that. But defensively, I love the way that we've taken pride in stopping the run. I think that's first and foremost what you have to start off with. Every great defense does it. Georgia, Alabama, they take pride in stopping the run. They don't care. Like there's a reason why Bama has only given up one 200-yard rushing game in the Nick Saban era. I think since they won that first Nick Saban championship, they've given up like one 200-yard rushing game, and it was against Ezekiel Elliott in that sugar in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah,
and then they don't give that up. And that was a generational Ohio State team with Michael Thomas and you know what I mean, like Nick Vanette.
Yeah, all those, look what they did to that Oregon team in the Natty.
Exactly,
that was a special.
They
group.
ran all over them. Like he ran for. Yeah, that's the only group that's run all over them. Take pride in what your identity is. Stop the run, and force Donovan Smith to beat you with his arm. Do it. Get pressure on the quarterback this week. I think if anything, you guys should be motivated to go out there and play. Everyone in the world was so happy about how you played against Alabama. Everyone in the world was saying, oh, okay, we might have a good defense, blah, 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 blah. You go out there against UTSA and you don't have a sack through the first half. You get one sack the entire game. That's not what an elite defense does against an opponent like UTSA. I understand. Frank Harris is fast. He's escaping the pocket. It is what it is. It's not what an elite defense does. An elite defense goes out there and they get more. An elite defense goes out there and they stop the run. They shut them down. I love the way they responded after the slow start. They started getting pressure. They started getting PBUs. They played great. Got a pick six, changed the momentum of the game. But you got to play true to your identity, and you got to force mistakes, because this offense is not good. It's not.
Don't let bad teams get in the rhythm.
Exactly.
The start of this football game, I will say, though, I'm a little encouraged by the fact that we started so poorly last week, and Sark was so really kind of took the bullets for it, right? He came out and said, it's my fault the team wasn't ready to go to start that game the way we should have been. Like, he said that. Like, he owned that. I think whenever you're bad at something the week before, that's kind of the common theme with adversity, right? Jalen Ford didn't play great in the first game. I'm going to make sure I come back out against Bama and play great football and get that fixed. I think Sark and them are going to have an emphasis on, let's try to jump on Tech at the beginning of this game. Like, that has to be the energy.
That should be the energy every week. Jump on that team, bro. Get on them. Take that opening script, throw it in the trash, and start dominating. That needs to be the approach. You did it against the best team in the country. Now, granted, don't let that go to your head and think that you're just like untouchable and yada yada yada. Like, obviously, I think we saw this past week. No, y'all can make mistakes. Y'all can slip up on tackling. I didn't think at all we were gonna have trouble with tackling against UTSA, especially after a week against Alabama where we barely missed tackles. I think something like Rob Baber said we missed more tackles that first drive than we had missed the entire season up to that point.
Yeah, we can't.
That can't happen.
20 play drive. You're missing tackles. You know, you're giving everything up.
Yeah.
The only positive is you held them to a field goal, luckily. And so, you know, they have to. That's a want to thing too. They didn't have that. That want to was there against Bama, and I think, you know, these kids still have to understand Texas will always be the hunted. No matter how bad we are, we're always the hunted. That's why we talked about earlier. I fully expect Tech, at least mentally, to come into this game executing, even if they're bad, as well as they can be, because that's how everybody plays Texas. And so our guys have to come with the mindset of like, yo, we gonna introduce some doubt right away. This ain't what you think it is.
Also, it needs to be clear, yo, this is gonna be the last time we play in Lubbock for a minute. They view us as their main rival. They're going to be up for this. They want to beat y'all badly. Yeah. This is their last shot at it. You guys go out there and take it to
burger right back at you, bro.
Exactly.
Let's run it back. And I know it's a different staff now, but no, we're gonna run it back. It's still some of the same brothers over there. All right.
Yeah.
We know. I know you know what happened in Austin last year, and we're gonna run it back. That needs to be the energy. It needs to be the energy. Let's see here. Hey, what are your thoughts? Conference outlook. Is anything surprised you so far from non-con in the Big 12?
So I'm excited to see what West Virginia does tomorrow night. Obviously, guys, scout the next team. You know what I mean? So that way it saves you from getting frustrated whenever you see a player going off that you've never heard of before. You know, I love doing that. It's like, oh yeah, he's a dude. So if he starts making catches against us, it's like, well, yeah, I saw him do that last week. Instead, it's like, who the hell is this guy? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
why is he cooking my team?
Yeah, exactly. It's a terrible feeling, but excited to see what they do. I think Oklahoma hasn't played a good team yet. That's my hot take. Yeah. It's just my hot take. I don't think they played a good team yet. I think they will struggle to get pressure.
That's not a hot take.
They just haven't. But I think OU fans are talking a little spicy now because they beat the crap out of Nebraska. And I'm just like, I don't know if y'all can get pressure with your four-man front against our offensive line. I honestly don't. I think they're going to end up trying to stack the box, load up. They do a good job against the run. They're very technique sound, and I know they're going to be up to play us. Brent Venables is going to try to come in with his best game plan ever against us. We'll see what happens there. I'll say this, though. I think the big surprise was Kansas State not being as good as I thought they were going to be. The biggest one, though, obviously, is Kansas.
Is that an Adrian Martinez problem real quick? Was it? Because I didn't see the Tulane game.
Yes. I don't like I don't like blaming Adrian Martinez because I thought he was like solid, but yeah, no.
Bro, they have the most first team all Big 12 guys. They shouldn't be over here having problems with Tulane.
If we don't beat, look, I don't even if Tulane goes on the road and beats Kansas State, I'm tired of the excuses, bro. We should dog Kansas State. I don't care. The last time we were there, we put 69 on their heads. I don't care. I don't care. Do it again. Do it again because he can prioritize stopping the run. Deuce Vaughn's gonna be tough to stop as he always is, but nah, bro. No excuses for this team this year. That's the one thing that I've noticed from conference play. There is no excuses for this defense, for this offense to not perform. OU is the one team. They are showing this week in and week out. Kansas maybe. Kansas putting up points. But OU is the one team that I'm just like, okay, this team is capable of challenging us if we are playing at our best. If we are playing at the level and the standard that we should be setting for ourselves, that's the only team that should be able to play with us this year. And this is not me like sipping crazy Kool-Aid. I genuinely believe that. Baylor, I don't think offensively has enough to match us whenever we're cooking offensively.
I'm surprised that Baylor has looked the way they've looked offensively. They're not where I thought they would be with Blake Shapen, quite frankly. No. They look super limited in the BYU game. And that's a BYU team that went and got cranked by Oregon.
Yeah, that was the surprising part to me. I was like, damn, they got cranked by, and I don't know if that Oregon team's special. I don't. And when Bo Nix, but also that might have just been like a Bo Nix thing because Bo Nix would go out there and look like a Heisman contender one game and then look like he's not capable of playing D1 ball the next, But I don't know, man. I like their offensive line. I like what they can do in the run game, but against this is what I'm saying. If Texas does one thing differently this year, there's no reason why any of these teams are gonna be capable of playing within 10 points of us. And I know I sound like I'm sipping Kool-Aid, but I mean this truthfully. If this defense, I'm saying it until I'm blue in the face, if this defense can stop the run, if they can just stop the run, who in this conference is going to beat you in the air and match points with how explosive and talented your offense is? Stop the fucking run. Stop it. That's all Baylor has to beat you. That's all Kansas State has to beat you. West Virginia is going to be a tough game, but at the same time, you can really force the hand.
Yeah, but West Virginia going to try to throw that hoe. You know how
West Virginia is going to try to throw it. Graham Harrell's trying to light everybody up. That's why I'm interested to see what they can do next week. But West Virginia, a very beatable team. Kansas went out there and did it. Come on, Kansas went out there and did it. Kansas went out there and put 55 on them. In their house. We get them at home. Nah, take them out. Also, that's the one thing that I do like about PK. If there's one game to go back to your traditional ways, do it for West Virginia. You love stopping air raid offenses. You love doing it. But my thing is, dude, I'm not saying CFP. Let's fucking relax. Okay, let's chill out. This team, obviously, they're young. We're gonna have games where we don't pull up, we don't show up. It's just it's what happens with the young team. But come on, bro. I'm like. Everything that could have gone, everything that we said this conference could be in a favorable way for Texas is happening right now. It is. And us having a defense that's capable of stopping the run, us having a defense that's capable of playing at an elite level against good competition, we know that they can get up and do it. Last year we didn't. Last year we didn't know that this defense could get up and do that to anybody. We didn't. Especially for 4 quarters. I say what you want about that Oklahoma game. Who knows if we could have stopped Kennedy Brooks for 4 quarters? We don't know. But what I do know is that if we stop this fucking run, we are going to beat these teams in this conference. Outside of Oklahoma and Kansas, the only 2 teams that scare me right now. Iowa State has nothing for you through the air. Kansas State has nothing for you through the air.
That's to me, that's where I have concerns, but I'm also like, who can do it? So I know what our weakness is, but do you have the trigger man on your offense to exploit the weakness I know I have defensively? Because I still think we struggle to play the football in the air. Until I see us do it well, to me, that's a weakness for Texas. So to your point, who is going to be the quarterback that will take advantage of that? And that starts with Donovan Smith. Can Donovan Smith take advantage of that?
No.
Adrian Martinez, can he take advantage of that? Can Spencer Sanders, Blake Shapen, right? Like, can they hit on that? Like, because it'll be there.
Yeah. But this is the other thing too.
You
You
can't
have to
take
have the wide
advantage of it.
receivers. You have to have the wide receivers that are capable of playing the ball in the air at an elite level. I think we saw some of the best receivers we're going to see on the schedule last week against UTSA. I would take
that group was a good group.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would take some of those guys. I would take some of those guys over the wide receivers at Kansas State. I'd take those guys over some of the wide receivers at Baylor.
With Frank.
Exactly.
Really good chemistry.
Yeah. And the thing is, obviously, we didn't play our best game in the secondary in that game. Deshaun Jameson, after giving up that big play, came back in and was on it all night. I love the way that he played coverage. But I think there's a couple of quarterbacks that could. I think these next 2 weeks.
Dylan and Marvin Mims.
Yeah.
Could.
Yeah. We're gonna know. This is the thing. We're really gonna know what this team is. I said this before. After that Alabama game, it's not about the Alabama game. It's not about winning, losing that game, playing them close, getting blown out. What this team is going to be is the 3 weeks prior. It was always going to be the 3 weeks prior, heading into that OU game, especially after Quinn Ewers got hurt. How do you respond to that? And honestly, I don't know now. After the UTSA game, I love the way they responded in that game. But now you know you can't show up flat. You can't. These teams will beat you. They will. Teams that are not supposed to be on the field with you will beat you if you show up flat like that. This week, do we show up flat again? Or do we start putting it on there? Like, do we start putting it on them? Do we put a foot on their neck from the jump? And then next week, and I think it's going to be two big tests. Can you beat an offense that shouldn't be on the field with you defensively? And then next week, how are you going to do against an offense that likes to air it out? This is the most vertical offense that I think they're going to play this season.
And West Virginia, that's a great, especially with JT. JT can definitely take advantage of that, and they're Bryce Wheaton and all them dudes. They gonna try to. Now they're reckless about it. That's the problem.
Yeah,
they're freaking reckless. Hey guys, one thing I want to say about the chat right now, and I appreciate everything going on here. If y'all don't like another Texas content creator or another show, just keep it to yourself. I don't need to be bashing other people, because that also reflects on me if I don't police it or whatever. And we're all one community. If you don't like somebody, just don't call. Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. I'm not here to give opinion, and I don't want to tell everybody what to do or anything like that. But if everybody's saying this person, blah, 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 I know how that stuff can get carried away on message boards and shit like that. And I'm just, like I said, this is group therapy. This is a place where we're supposed to come and just have a good time and talk ball, get it out. That's why Kieran's pumped up tonight. Kieran's getting a lot out of his system.
I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. It's because I see the potential of the team. We all do. And the thing is, it's different. It's different believing it before the season happens, right? It's always different just feeling like, okay, this team is gonna compete at a high level because this player is gonna develop. And yeah, we've seen them develop. We've seen what this team can be. Obviously, there's things that we need to work on. We have our weaknesses, run blocking being one of them. Pass coverage, we haven't seen these corners get tested, especially playing the ball in the air, like you said. We haven't seen if this defense can consistently tackle, and also if the edges can consistently get pressure. To be honest with you, I haven't called it out, but I thought Barron Sorrell and Ovie Ogofu could have played a way better game on Saturday. I truly do. I thought those are the matchups that we should have exploited more than anything. They still played solid. They still got pressure. Obviously, Frank Harris, phenomenal athlete, just escaping sacks. They still did, but I felt like they could have really dominated that game, for sure. But my main thing is I'm seeing the potential on the field. It's not like last year where it's like, okay, yeah, the offense went crazy. The defense, we're just going to ignore that, though, because, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Nah, you saw that we started falling off later on in games. This year, it's like, okay, this is a team that responds. This is a team that can stop the run. This is a team that can play at a very high level. It's a team that can connect offensively. I want to see them put it together, and I want to see them play at their max potential, because we haven't seen it in 10-plus years. That's why I'm excited. Also, I think it might just be withdrawals, because I didn't sip any Kool-Aid in the offseason. I was full on 8-4, and now I'm like, there's no possible way we're going 8-4 without a complete disappointment. If that happens, you're going to see me crying real tears on the internet, and I don't want that to happen.
Well, no, I mean, I it's always we're still if I didn't call the number, let's say I what's the term? You under promise, over deliver, right?
Pause.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Steven, everything changed after we played within 1 point of Bama. If we lose 4 games this year, I don't give a shit. I'm sorry. No. Everything changed after that. Everything changed. The expectations went from like, okay, this could be a decent team. If this team ends 9-3, everyone's pissed. Unless we make it to Dallas. If we lose 2 more games, but we're still in Dallas, people excuse it because we still have a chance to play for the championship.
It depends. That's where aesthetically pleasing.
If this team isn't in Dallas,
if you lose 2 more games, it depends on how it looks and did you get to Arlington.
Exactly.
Those things matter. I do agree. But I
also,
think
like if you lose to Oklahoma State on the road and you lose to Oklahoma, it's like, okay, it kind of is what it is. You know what I mean?
And if you make it to the conference championship, you could get a rematch.
Exactly. Yeah, but still, I know Texas fans. I am a Texas fan. I know how I feel about it, so I know how everybody else will feel about it. That's a good question for the chat. If this team ends the season 9-3, 8-4, what's the reaction? How do y'all feel about it?
Well, before we even get to that, and that's a great question. If this team ends the season 8-4 or 9-3, how are we feeling? I do think it will matter. Context, right? Did somebody get hurt? Did we lose Quinn? Blah blah blah. Right? Bijan, all these guys. But what is your expectation, Kieran?
At this point,
how many losses are you willing to give them? 1? That's it? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
I'd say 2. I'm open to giving them 2 losses.
So then you're okay with 9-3.
I'm okay with 9-3. I'd be hyped for 9-3.
Okay.
Oh, like just Homer literally just said exactly what I said. I'd be hyped for 9-3. Yeah, that's 2 conference losses and a possible Big 12 championship appearance, like he said. Like that's phenomenal. That's a phenomenal season, especially for a team this young. That's a massive goodness. Okay, this is getting like weird. Nash just said the same exact. I was about to say that's a massive step up from what happened last year. That's crazy.
No, we talked
Homer
too much.
Homer and Nash just reading my mind. That's crazy. That's wild. But no, I mean 8-4 is improvement. But come on now, who's gonna be sitting here happy with an 8-4 season after playing within a point of Bama? It depends on how that looks. Obviously, context matters. God forbid somebody gets hurt in a key position. I'm not gonna say who because I don't want to put that energy in the world. But that obviously that'd be excusable. But my thing is, honestly, I think this team should go at this point of the season. They should go 9-3. They should. And I'm saying that before. I'm really sipping Kool-Aid right now because I'm saying that before you even played a conference game. I got to see what this team looks like on the road. I don't even
That's
know.
What I'm saying, bro. Like we have not played a conference game yet. I gotta see it.
I didn't expect the defense to go out there and stop the run like this, though. It's my thing. But also, concerning thing was last week UTSA made us look like we did last year in the first half. They did.
Right.
We can't let that happen. You got to go out there and you got to show some things. And that's my main thing, though, too. I said it before. I say it again. The next 3 weeks are going to show what this team is really made out of, how they responded to that loss against Alabama. Being a close game, being a blowout, winning, it doesn't matter. What's going to tell you the truth about this team is how they respond. And you have three opponents that you're going to have injury concerns with Quinn. Now you have more adversity striking with Demo being out. How do you respond? You have a team that you should beat. That's solid, though, in UTSA. You have a team that's on the rise, but they're going to be up to play you on the road. This is their Super Bowl. Let's be honest here. This is Texas Tech Super Bowl. It's their last time playing Texas. And then you have West Virginia coming in on the road, a solid team that's capable of airing it out. Who wants to get a signature win now? They haven't gotten one this year. They've had 2 close games. Now, I'm not saying Kansas should be a signature win, but damn, they playing good. You know what I mean? But they had that opportunity to beat Pitt, and they didn't get to get it. They got to start off their season with a ranked opponent. They played really well, but they lost. Then they played against Kansas. They lost. They're looking to get things going. They know they're not a bad team. Can you kill their hope for the season?
Kieran did not say that, Batman. He did not say that. Don't put words in his mouth.
I did not say playoff, guys. I did not say playoff, bro. No.
You see what they do? You see how they do us? And they go, somebody
gonna
put that shit on Twitter.
I hate
They're going to put that shit on Twitter and be like, Kieran out here saying that David and Texas going to playoffs.
I really don't like this. This is what I get for not sipping Kool-Aid during the offseason. I should have been on my Kool-Aid stuff for sure. Because now I'm just like, I was saying 8-4. I was like, it's a young team. We're going to make mistakes, yada, yada, yada. I did not expect the defense to come out here and look as good as they have. But we'll see if they stay consistent throughout the season.
So we haven't mentioned Oklahoma State too much. I mean, we talked about Spencer Sanders. We haven't mentioned Oklahoma State, and we haven't mentioned TCU. I wish we should have asked, and this is my fault. I should have asked Trey to come on here tonight too. Trey, I think is getting ready to move up this way, but
Okay.
but Trey's TCU Horned Frogs. That's another team that's been lurking on the side, having
Kind of cooking.
been real quiet.
Quietly cooking. Not gonna lie.
Is Colorado ass though?
Yes.
I think they're ass, right?
Yeah, Colorado's a bucket of dog shit. But SMU this week, they play at SMU. That's an interesting game. And then Oklahoma State, I believe Oklahoma State the week after next, they play against Baylor. Yeah, they have a bye week this week, and then they play against Baylor. But also, I don't know what Oklahoma State is right now because they played who was the Pac-12 team that they played? Or they played two scrubs. They played Arkansas.
Arizona. They played
Arizona State.
And Herm got fired.
Yeah, goodness gracious. Yeah, Herm Edwards literally just got fired. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Thanks for the super chat, John. Appreciate it. So people say this could end up like the 2019 LSU season. I think it's a different world. We played D against Bama, blah blah. So that LSU season, that's when the injuries got crazy. And yes, we got some injuries after Bama. When you play teams that physical, that good, it's a war. You're gonna lose some soldiers. It just is what it is. Like that's a natural, function of when you play at that level. I do think though, like just in my mind, thinking back to that 2019 season, we got so inconsistent, man, week to week with just what we were doing and showing up. And that was also a Tom Herman thing of losing close football games and winning close football games. And then it just became, back and forth. I think the thing where we're still here, where we're pleased, we're starting to get like Tom Herman, for example, UTSA, we probably win by 10. Steve Sarkisian and them.
I don't know if you win by 10. You're talking about the dude that played 4 points within 4 points with Tulsa. And that's a better team than that Tulsa team.
So you're saying one score game then?
100%.
That's Tom Herman.
Yeah.
That's where I am seeing a difference. Steve Sarkisian, and not just Sark, but his staff, right? Pete Kwiatkowski and Kyle Flood and all these guys, they were able to turn the faucet off. Like, they were able to make adjustments, turn the faucet off. Okay, we're going on a 34-3 run. Let's get out of here. Stop this. And we were able to get backups in the game.
I wanted to get your opinion on that too. That was the most, oh my God. It felt amazing to see that. When's the last time we saw that? Like I'm sorry, Mac Brown era, you'd start off, have a terrible half, go out there, Mac Brown shoot ass in the locker room. Come on, guys. Got to win the kicking game. You know what I mean? Doing the whole Mac Brown thing, talking about beautifully furnished casitas or whatever he does in the locker room, right? Then they would come back out in that second half and completely dominate Oklahoma State in 04 and 05. You know what I mean? Like going like Kansas, like teams that we would start off slow against, come back and then play our
break. Scores, bro.
Exactly. And it was just like you didn't panic because you knew they were a good team. To me, God, I hate making this comparison. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not gonna speak that into the world. I was gonna talk about Jimbo Fisher and FSU. Absolutely not. But when they went down, they came back. Like when you see these good teams have slow starts. Alabama against the Citadel a couple of years ago with Tua, they were tied at the half, like 10-10. Came out, blew the doors off them in the second half. Us closing that game on a 34-3 run is completely different than what we showed last year. If the game was close, we were gonna fold. If the game was close, we'd start folding. We'd stop believing in it. We'd start giving up. We'd start giving up big plays and not playing in our own game. This team came out there and was like, okay, we had a rough start, but we're better. Let's show that we're better. Phenomenal end of the game. It reminded me a lot of the Mac Brown era.
So I want to go until the 2-hour mark. So I'm saying that now so that,
Yeah.
So we're at 144. We got 280 in here, which it's 11:17. So
shout out.
Yo,
awesome.
This is awesome. This many people in here this late. I mean, that's crazy. Hit that like button, show us some love. And the chat is popping. Subscriber only chat. It's popping. I see you guys are going back to the Quinn Ewers injury, and I feel like that's the most passionate. These are the because you guys like Kieran said, it's the franchise, and there's really difficult things that have to happen. Trust your medical staff. I'm gonna keep saying it, and if he's cleared, he needs to play. Trust your staff. But if there's doubt, and and my doctors and my team, because I'm gonna put if I'm Sark, that's who I'm putting it back on. And they're like, hey, there's this, and this, or if he gets hit the wrong way and he might start lying to you, or if you start seeing the ball start selling, it doesn't look like him, then he's hurt.
Yeah.
Don't
play that game with him this year though either. I don't want to if he is hurt, if you're seeing the Casey Thompson Iowa State throw, I can't make the ball go 10 yards, get him out of the game immediately. Get it. I'm not playing this game with you. Get him out of the game immediately. That's, like I said, it's the franchise. I still think, guys, if you watch this Texas Tech team offensively, we can win this game with Hudson Card. Hudson Card is not inept. Hudson Card actually is getting better every single time he goes out there. If you look at him in the pocket, he still is better than he was last time. I think Sarkisian calls a bit more conservatively, and that's
the problem. It's more on Sark. Yeah.
I don't want to blame it completely on
good deep balls to start that game. Come on. But they didn't even call it, but he didn't even get to throw it again.
Yeah, that's true. My thing is there were opportunities there. I think also this is the thing though. There's a lot of dropbacks from what I've seen. Other videos people send it to me where there's guys streaking downfield, and I think there's one thing that Sark will not tolerate. And we've had a lot of conversations about this. What will Sark tolerate? What won't he? I think picks are high on that list. I think turning the ball over is high on that list. When he dials up a play and it gets somebody wide, booty, butt naked open, and that guy doesn't get hit, that frustrates him more than anything. More than anything. I think that's his number one thing. If the offense is not clicking to the level in which he sees it, if he's calling a good game plan, you know how frustrating that's got to be. That's where I think he draws the line.
Right.
And whenever that sort of stuff is happening, when he's dialing up plays that are getting Xavier Worthy open downfield, Casey Kane open downfield, Jatavian Sanders open downfield, and Hudson's holding on to the ball, that's why he lost the starting job last year. That's why he didn't win the starting job this year. In my honest opinion, I think he should have more trust in Card because he's a third-year player now. You gotta put some form of trust in him. But also, I think that's his breaking point. That's his tendency. That's his weakness. His kryptonite is if these guys aren't executing, he's gonna be upset.
You're right. Because one of the things you saw with Sark is, and you see it every week, he draws up his beaters, man. He has beaters for everything. This is something where, when you watch other teams and others in NFL and all that, you're like, damn, where's the scheme and all that type of stuff. We've never said that with Sark. It's always been, can the player execute what I just drew up for that beater, right? Period.
Kellen Moore just got astray from you because I know you don't like him. Kellen Moore just caught astray for no reason. I know exactly what you're doing.
I was being subtle about it. Why
I know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing.
I was being subtle about it.
Know exactly what you're doing. That was funny. He's like, yeah, these guys that don't know scheme, my Cowboys. That was essentially what you just did. But yeah, I think I agree with you though. I think if we're having discussions about who the best play callers in college football is, or who the best play callers in college football are, Lincoln Riley, Steve Sarkisian, top two in my opinion. And it's really not even a discussion after that. I think Josh Heupel, phenomenal play caller, Ryan Day, but goodness gracious, the stuff that he's doing, the fact that he go out there and call 30 personnel, you know what I mean, against Alabama, drive to, insane stuff. He just lets him swing, to be honest with you. For lack of a better term, he lets him swing. My thing is, I think with Card, yes, there is a lack of trust there. It's obvious to see. I mean, just the first three play calls after Quinn Ewers got hurt when he came in that Bama game was just like, oh man, he doesn't trust him at all. I think in this game though, you can't afford to. You got to trust him. You got to let him make those plays. And if he starts going erratic, if Card ends up getting in this game, if he starts being the first half Kansas Hudson Card that completely fell apart, then you go back to the conservative game plan. But you can't protect these guys in conference play. It's too high of a level of football.
No,
your team isn't there. Your team isn't there yet.
Mm-mm.
If you have that top 5 talent composite type team like a Georgia or Alabama, you can call a conservative game plan if you're struggling offensively. You cannot do that with this team.
So I understand the anticipation point here that just got made by Cyber Smasher Gaming. However, again, if I have beaters drawn up that are wide open, not all of them require God level anticipation that Quinn Ewers has. That's a very rare trait that he has. You just have to execute the throw.
Yeah.
Now there are some throws. For example, there was a rollout against Alabama very late in the game where we ended up kicking a field goal, and Hudson Card technically completed the pass to Xavier Worthy. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Xavier Worthy ended up out of bounds. Quinn Ewers would have thrown that football 2 ticks earlier.
Yeah. Right before the half. Is that the one you're talking about against Bama?
Yes.
The ball's got to be out. The ball's got to be out there. And that's what I'm saying. But that's the frustration that he has with him.
Yeah, he sees it because the route is there, but it's to the sideline. You don't have much margin. But margin sometimes isn't just about ball placement, it's about timing.
Yeah.
And as a quarterback, that's where anticipation really comes into play. That ball needs to be out before Worthy's coming out of his break.
And when you really think about it, to be honest, this quarterback competition probably wasn't even fair competition. That is Quinn Ewers' superhuman ability. It's ball placement and it's anticipation. He has been throwing, he's been throwing a 15-yard corner before he breaks since his sophomore year of high school. I've seen it. I've seen it in person. He is like the wide receiver is back turned before he's even making his cut, before he jabs, before he does anything. He's back turned, the ball's out. Go back and watch. QB School has a video. It's like he has a Patreon. But
Love
also,
QB School.
The QB School, phenomenal. He has a video on Twitter. Just go to the QB School on Twitter, type in Quinn Ewers. He shows that 20-yard out to Xavier Worthy. Look at when Quinn Ewers is throwing the ball. If the ball is out, Xavier Worthy's still upfield. He's still vertical. Before he comes out, he knows exactly where that ball needs to be, and it's there. That's the thing. Steve Sarkisian wants his offense run to maximum efficiency. That's why Bryce Young didn't beat out Mac Jones his freshman year. Mac Jones was in the system. He knew how it worked. Mac Jones isn't a phenomenal arm talent. Mac Jones isn't a phenomenal athlete. Mac Jones he doesn't have incredible arm strength or accuracy even. Mac Jones knew the system, and he knew when the ball needed to be out. He knew exactly where it needed to be at the time that it needed to be, and he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks. He had one of the most efficient quarterback seasons in college football history because of it. Quinn Ewers gives you that option. All because of timing. All because he gets the ball out whenever he needs to. All because he realizes those beaters and he doesn't hesitate to make the throw. That's really what it is. That's the one, if there's the one word that describes what Steve Sarkisian hates most, hesitation. He doesn't need you to be hesitant. He needs you to go out there and make a fucking play. Period. That's what it has to be. But
one other so we got 8 minutes left. There's a comment of other here about what was it? Here we go. Tate. Arch is balling. All right.
Archibald.
Arch is out here, and Kieran, he said, put some respect on my name, bro. All right. Whether y'all think I'm a 3-star, a 4-star, 5-star, I'm overrated because of my name. I don't care. I'm so impressed with Arch too, because the amount of eyeballs that were going to be on him his senior year is going to be stupid.
Yeah.
They are playing for their school. They're trying to go up in competition. Yeah. Unfortunately, Will Randall suffered injury. I think his ACL injury. So, that's his road dog, and he's coming to Texas. And so all these things are happening. And to me, I already knew, I was never in this whole, why is Arch this or that? Like, I understand, the projections.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt a Manning. That's just me. Y'all can be wrong about a Manning. I'm not going to be. Like, y'all can do that.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting that family. They have shown nothing to for me to all of a sudden be like, that guy's going to be a bust, right? But what we're now seeing are the wow. Like, he's making wow. Y'all, people got to stop, man. All right? All right? Like, how are we analyzing this stuff? Because not every single top-tier quarterback over the last 5 years, 10 years, there's a lot of guys we can go through that didn't play the highest 6A Texas or 7A in Florida level competition. Nah. Yep. So what are we talking about? But he's balling right now. I just wanted to give him some credit.
He deserves all the credit in the world. And honestly, I keep coming back to this because, I mean, I'll be honest, I was an Arch Manning downer. Not because I don't think he's talented or capable of running Steve Sarkisian's system.
No, you were asking fair questions at the time.
Yeah, that's my thing. Honestly, I didn't see it. Like, I saw him turn the ball over. I saw him hesitate. I saw him not be able to make plays happen like I thought a quarterback of his caliber should have. Right. But now looking at it, that kid's making quick decisions. He has been making quick decisions since his freshman year of high school. Obviously, coming to Texas, it's going to be an adjustment, at least at first. But also, who's more well-equipped for that adjustment? Arch Manning. And like we said, hesitation, understanding of the system, that's the one thing that Steve Sarkisian can't stand and the one thing that Steve Sarkisian absolutely needs. There's not going to be a quarterback more well-equipped in a better situation when he comes in, too, than Arch Manning. You're talking about someone that has it between the ears, knows that he needs to get the football out whenever he does. It doesn't take a superhuman talent to run Steve Sarkisian's system. Just like I said about Mac Jones. It doesn't.
That's what Sark wants from Arch, though. He wants him to be he's Mac Jones with better tools.
Exactly. Steve Sarkisian doesn't want you. This is the thing. This is what I love about Steve Sarkisian, especially when it comes to quarterback development. Who's the greatest quarterback of all time, Steven?
Tom Brady.
Does Tom Brady roll outside the pocket and use his unbelievable arm talent to make plays happen?
No.
Tom Brady plays within the system, and he gets called a system quarterback a lot by guys like me that were uninformed when I was younger. But Tom Brady, he plays within the system. He plays the game the right way. And what does he notice more than anything? Pressure. Notice his pressure. He gets the ball out whenever it needs to be out. He makes sure that the offense keeps moving and momentum keeps going forward. Tom Brady is exactly the type of quarterback that Steve Sarkisian will want in his offense. A distributor. He does not want his quarterback to be Superman. And yes, Superman types in this day and age of football work. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Dude, they work. I'm not here to knock that at all. That you win Super Bowls with guys like that. You do. You straight up do. But when you have a play caller, when you have talent, when you have someone that gives you an opportunity to go out there and play the game efficiently, you put the best guy possible in that role. It's the same reason why Steve Sarkisian doesn't want a freak athlete. He doesn't want his quarterbacks running all over the place. He doesn't want any of that. He wants someone that can play within the system and get the ball to the playmakers that he recruits. We're going to have a crap ton of recruits that can make plays on the ball, that can make plays in space, that can catch the ball. And we're also going to have a phenomenal offensive line for Arch Manning to walk into. And all he has to do is play within the system.
That's such a great point, Kieran, because people have to understand, I want a distributor because I have all this talent here. That's what CJ Stroud's being asked to do. CJ Stroud's not being asked to beat Josh Allen and all these guys. Like for example, Lamar Jackson at Louisville had to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't have all these dudes. I don't even remember who the running back was back. I honestly don't. I know he had.
Yeah.
Like I can name maybe one. I know the tight end. What was his name? You see, was it Cole?
Remember. I just remember Devontae Parker was there with Teddy Bridgewater, and that's about it.
Samoan tight end. But I like they needed a superhuman person to run that offense. Is the point, to do all of these dynamic things. Even Josh Allen, like the Buffalo Bills right now, Ken Dorsey, all those guys over there doing a great job. But I've noticed this year, Josh is killing it, and he has great arm talent. You still see the wild throws, but he's getting the ball out because he has better weapons now in Buffalo.
Yep.
It's got a Stephon Diggs. They're putting Diggs in the slot, and they're like, dude, hot.
I'm not a big analytics guy, but I would assume the offenses that get the ball out quicker are the most efficient offenses in the league. I would assume so. I would assume the offenses and the quarterbacks that are capable of getting the ball out quicker. Like Tom Brady's been the most efficient quarterback when it comes to snap to release like time in NFL history. It's immediate. And honestly, I think playing within the system, doing what's asked of you, obviously, it's nobody could ask for better. There's game manager types, but the thing is, Steve Sarkisian doesn't even ask you to be a game manager. He asks you to hit the shots that he dials up.
Right. There's a different. That's not a game manager. A game manager is what Cooper Rush did last week with the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Where we're not gonna go past 30 throws. We're gonna keep it very condensed. One read. We're gonna only run this, and this versus man coverage.
Yeah.
And then at certain points in the game, we'll need you to make a few throws, but the rest of that is don't turn the football over, keep everything in front of you. That's a game manager. Mac Jones was not a game manager at Alabama. He was shooting, okay?
Yeah.
He could have won a Heisman Trophy.
It's my favorite thing about Steve Sarkisian, though, too. It's play action. Oh my God, it's all built off of play action.
Right.
Nobody in college football has a better play action game than Steve Sarkisian. It's not even close.
My boy Chris is in here. Shout out to Chris. He was the reason why I was able to watch the damn football game on Saturday against UTSA. Shout out to Chris. But you're right, man. Pass first point guard. We want that Chris Paul, John Stockton, Steve Nash. They're still putting up crazy numbers, but they're assists. They're just getting like Stockton. He's just getting the ball to Karl Malone to get points.
Yep.
Or Nash. I'm getting the ball to Amari Stoudemire and those guys. That's what Sark is looking for. It's a great analogy. That doesn't mean I'm not cooking. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get my accolades. But that's why Tom Brady and them are great. These guys, Tom Brady, like one of the things I noticed. His name was Cole. Thank you. I knew his name was Cole something. I couldn't remember. And we're about to wrap up. I know I went past the 2-hour mark. I did it again. Damn it.
It's all good, man. CPT is a real thing, but we got it though. We got it.
When folks visited, we get to start talking.
Hey, it's like a company's over. It is what it is. At the end of your live streams, or like whenever your mom is like jingling her keys, but she's still talking to her friend for the past 15 minutes. That's what the end of these shows are like. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Oh,
goodness gracious!
We're gonna wrap this up. Look at black folks in church, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. They stay around. They stay around. That's why Golden Corral gets hit at 1 p.m. instead of 11. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Hey, OB, thank you so much. We love what you guys do for the Texas football community. Thank you. That means a lot, especially coming from you guys over there. Thank you. And y'all are pushing the community forward so well. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
The more Texas content, the better. Straight up.
We flooding it out here. Mm-hmm. Orange Bloods, this whole entire community, man. And just how we're coming together, and it's you guys here in the chat. It's Texas fans at 11:30 at night talking ball.
Yeah.
We don't go away. You know what I'm saying? We don't go away. Like we're here visiting, but it's also like we're passionate about this. We're thinking about this. We're excited for conference play. We're pleased with what this team has shown in non-con.
Yeah.
We're excited.
God,
we see growth. And I told Amanda this. The Amanda video is dropping tomorrow. Amanda Atwell from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. I told Amanda this. We, as fans, are enjoying this journey, especially with a young staff, young players, people that want to establish a real culture here at Texas. It's enjoying the journey. Yeah, we're talking about the records. And I already saw Tate went on Twitter and quote tweeted me and Kieran saying we're going to the playoffs. That is not true.
Spreading misinformation already? True. Is that what's happening?
Yo, go check your Twitter. All right. But I'm going to end this here. We are excited because we're enjoying the journey. That's the bigger thing. We're enjoying the journey. We're seeing so much. We didn't even get into all the offensive line stuff and all that stuff there. Well, that's another video for another day. But everybody that came and rocked with us, thank you. Everybody that's in the chat here and hit the like button and all that, thank you. Thank you. This means a lot. It's an awesome community. Glad to be a part of it. You guys see Homer in here. Locked on Longhorns. Nash has been in here the entire time. We outside. As y'all are winding down, go to bed. Make sure you guys follow Kieran on all platforms. We know he's worldwide. He's famous out here on TikTok. He's on his way to a milli on TikTok. You know,
slowly but surely. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, I just hit 40K on Instagram. So, you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Cool. I want to catch everybody on the team. Pass them up. You know what I mean? That's it. So that's just a personal goal of mine. You know what I mean? My NIL deals are gonna be crazy. I start walking around campus acting like Caleb Williams for real or something. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate you, Steven, for letting me come on the platform, talk some ball. You know, it's always fun. I do have a problem with Victor. It is not past my bedtime, okay? It is 9:30 out here on the West Coast. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
also, I'm a 24-year-old man. Just because I don't listen to Nas and freaking Curtis Blow like the rest of you, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean
right, you
that
can take a cuss at Curtis Blow, but I you know, the unnecessary Nas slander. My goodness.
Sorry. And I just because I don't listen to all that old crap doesn't mean that I'm 16 of like now. You know what I mean? I'm 24. Just turned 24. It is what it is.
Chris, man, thank you, brother. I owe you for, like I said, Chris held me down and made sure I was able to make it to kickoff on Saturday. So
that's solid. That's solid.
That means a lot, Chris, and you know that. You know that, man. Thank you. Anyway, no, yeah, Homer knows. He's like, Kieran's not going to leave until he takes his shot at Nas.
I got to.
At this point.
I got to. Sorry. I'm getting cranky now. Goodness great. Am I just the baby of like the...
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I'm a grown man. All right.
Shout out to our sponsor, BUSR, busr.com/fanatic, the official sponsor, the official sportsbook, the official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. Make sure you guys hit that promo code sports100FP, 100% free play match on all initial deposits. Look, guys, we talked a lot about the Big 12. We got West Virginia at Blacksburg tomorrow night. What's the spread on that?
Right now it is. I can check it for you. At Blacksburg, it is. Goodness gracious, I need to see. West Virginia, 1.5.
-1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Very close.
Very close.
At Virginia Tech.
Hey, you feeling some type of way? You want to support another Big 12 team? And you feeling some type of way? You want to put
West Virginia needs that win. I almost hope they don't win though, so they kind of come into us just like, oh, we suck. You know what I mean? I want that doubt. Like I want something.
Texas Tech, -6.5. It's moving up. It's moving up.
If they lose that game and then come to Texas and lose, they might be the best 1-4 team in the country. That's tough. That's a tough start.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Kansas is for real too. That's a tough road game, guys. Just saying.
I saw somebody earlier saying they wanted to take the over on Duke. So you know. Pay attention to these games, guys. Anyway, thank you so much, BUSR. You know, y'all take care of this channel, and we appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Be safe, and we'll be back with more video dropping with Amanda Atwell tomorrow afternoon. And make sure you guys follow Kieran, like I said, on all platforms. Kieran, thank you, brother. And remember, horns always up. Deuces.